Futsal community, welcome to Futsal Proud podcast number 4. My name is Andre Caro, known on social media as the Doctor, and I'm your host. It's with a great pleasure to introduce to you all our fourth guest since the relaunch of the podcast. He's still very young and already 2 times in a row FIFA Futsal World Cup Golden Gloves, 2016 World Cup champion, 2021 runners-up, is but already a legend of the game. The Argentina goalkeeper superstar is super charismatic, Nico Sarmiento. Nico, ¿cómo estás? And thank you so much for coming to the podcast.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me. I told you before, I try to do my best with my English. I'm sorry in advance. It's not my best language, but I'll do my best. Thank you very much for letting me share with you this beautiful space.
Now, for to have you here, even if you could speak 2 words, I will still have you here. It's a pleasure. Nico, you mentioned the English. I saw an interview of you with my friend Chris Fernandez at the World Cup.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to speak English? Because you never lived in a country that speaks English.
No, because my mother is translator. She is
Okay.
an English translator, and when I was really young, since I was like 5 or 6, she made me study every single year and do tests and things like that, and I hated all my life until I went out from Argentina, and then I came back to my home and said to my mom, "You were absolutely right." That was really nice because now it's really tough for some of my teammates that can't even say a word in English to go
Yeah.
out of South America, and you have to speak in English. There is no other chance. So to me, it's easier, and sometimes I do like little translations to them or things like that. I try
Yeah,
to
English.
use my English so forgot. I try to don't forget the things, but it's difficult.
Yeah, it is difficult. I was very surprised when I saw your interview how good your English was. Nico, it's I've been looking forward to this podcast very much. We're gonna be talking about his upbringing in Argentina, his first time playing his home lane in Argentina, playing professionally in Argentina, playing in Brazil, futsal in Spain, and of course the Argentina national team in the last 2 FIFA Futsal World Cups. Uh, Nico, let's start with your upbringing, okay? Just to get to know you a bit better. Where were you born and where you grew up?
I was born in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. It's called Capital Federal. It's the center of Buenos Aires, the capital city. And I grew up in Núñez, in the famous River Plate neighborhood. I
Okay.
literally grew up looking to my window and seeing the River Plate Stadium, so you don't have to guess what I'm really fan of. And I start playing in another team, also football team, but playing. It's not futsal; it's like junior football, indoor soccer, like 5 players and a keeper.
Hmm.
By all everything by luck. I start playing in Platense. I play like 4 years until after one game, the other coach, the coach from the other team, came close to me and said, "I am also coach of River Futsal. You want to play?" And I didn't know what futsal was, but I heard River and I said, "Yes, I
Okay.
don't care what is. I want to be there." And that's how I started in
How old were
futsal.
you at that time?
I was 8,
So
and
you
I was like,
started playing futsal when you were around 8.
yeah. And I didn't really care at that time what futsal was. It was a ball and river. It's all what I needed. Little, little by little, I start to really enjoy it. I was a keeper, so the heavy ball and the smaller goal, it was an advantage at that age because we were really small.
Yeah.
And it was really funny. I could go to the stadium of River. I used the jersey of my team. It was really nice.
And Nico, playing as a junior there in Buenos Aires,
Yeah,
was there already a rivalry between River and Boca at a junior level too? Do
there
they
is.
have futsal team?
Yeah,
Both clubs have
you.
futsal teams?
Yeah, they have, and it's a rivalry, even in chess, I think. There is nothing that River and Boca do against that. Everything is rivalry there. It's
Uh-huh.
madness, and the matches against Boca were really special for all of us. We love to play those matches. It was a special week. You were thinking about that match all week. The day of the match, you were really anxious and nervous. You wanted to win with all your strength, and they wanted to win too. So it was. I remember it really, really nice when I was younger, and I used to play all for fun. And it was the most beautiful time of futsal of my life. I think I loved what I do now, but in this time when we do it, everything only for a sandwich that we get before,
Yeah,
after the
yeah.
game. That was the better ages.
And did you used to have all the parents watching and those crazy moms yelling and everything?
You got everything. Thankfully, my mom and my dad were really calm about, but the other parents weren't. And you have people screaming and shouting and saying things, and it was you got them really close. It's not like football, like they are
Mhm.
there. No, you got them like a meter from where you are, and it was really special. Yeah, it was funny.
Very good, good memories. And just for people to understand, how is life growing up in Argentina? So, do you go to a public school? What do you do after school? Just a little bit about life growing up.
Yeah, I used to go to a private school, so I used to go only to in the mornings, and then it depends on the age, but I always had to study English. Then training when I was really young, I tried to do Platense and River until the times weren't logical, and my mom told me, "Okay, you have to decide it's this or this," and I went to River. And then when I was growing a little bit more, it was between going to school, going to River, start taking more serious the training. But until I don't know, 15 or 16, it was really something I did for fun because I like it. Also my friends, also my teammates.
Hmm.
We at that age and that time we didn't have a projection to be a professional of that in Argentina. Only if you wanted to go abroad, Europe or something like this. But it seemed really, really impossible at that age. So it was really fun for us. At night we had to do our train. In the evening we always played football matches with friends, and then to train and to enjoy.
Understand. Very good. And talking about futsal in Argentina now, with growing up, did you used to play the AMF rules, the old rules with the side ball throw-ins, corners throw-ins, and also the
Yeah.
goalkeeper had to bounce before the half court, or did you just play more the FIFA rules?
No, I always played FIFA, but there was one year that I didn't play in River. I was part of the team, but the coach preferred the other keeper, so he told me, "You are not going to play this year. You are going to train, but you are not playing." So I didn't know what to do, and I discovered a team, a little small team that play in AMF, and I talked to them and I said to them, "Okay, I can came here and train once a week and play. If you want, I can do it." And they say, "Okay, don't worry, you can do that."
Of
So I
course, they're
used
gonna
to
say
train.
okay.
Yeah, I used to train every I don't know if at that time it was like 3 times a week in River, once more time in this club, and on the weekends I went to the match with River. I didn't play, and when that finished, I literally ran out of there and go to the other match that I did play. So it was a little bit different because the ball was different, the rules were different, but at that age I really remember that I didn't care. The first day they told me you can't do this or this, and I told them, but I'm going to play, yes, so I don't care. But it was funny because the courts were smaller at that time,
Yeah.
so they shoot you really, really close. And it was all about shooting. you didn't have much game like in FIFA at that time. Now the courts are bigger and you see more, but at that age and in those courts, it was like one by one, get out and shoot, shoot, shoot. And for me, it was extremely funny because I was looking for that. I wanted to get out of the court really tired.
That's good. That's good. All right, Nico. Just let's move on to your time as a professional player. When did you start? When did you become a professional player in Argentina? Who you played for, and a little bit of your history in Argentina
Yeah.
before you moved
I,
to Brazil.
I always play in River. I never been in another futsal club. I've been in this one in MAF, but I always do my career in River since 8 years old until 21. When I received a call from Intelli, they were the last champions of the National League of Brazil, and I knew that Brazil never had foreign players. So they called me and they told me, we are interested in you. Do you want to come here and be part of the team? And before they finished, was already there. In my mind, it was like, okay, yeah, I can't say no. It was the most important team at the time,
Yeah.
the most important South American league. Uh, I didn't have nothing to lose and all to win. It was amazing. I shared team with Vinicius, Ciso, Cabreuva, Jackson, Gita. I mean, for me, it was like being surrounded of all the stars I saw when I was younger, and now they were teammates. It was like incredible for me.
What did you learn as a goalkeeper? The difference between the Brazilian way of goalkeeping and the Argentinian way of goalkeeping?
It changed a lot because we had a really good goalkeeper trainer that was Tomate. He was also trainer
Tomate,
for the
really
national
good.
team. Yeah. So he when I arrived, he told me, okay, you don't know how to do this or this. In in 3 months, you are going to do this. And he was right, but we work and we train every day with him. It doesn't matter if we have to train with the team. I always had to be trained. I remember every day training with Tomate, 10 minutes maybe, half an hour. It doesn't matter. But every day we had to do a little bit to improve, and it was really important for me. It was my first experience out of my country, my comfort zone. And besides the sports in a personal level, it was really important because I had to learn how to live alone without my
Mhm.
family, my friends, everything. And you are a worker here, you are a player, and that's all. We are going to help you, but you are alone in another country. And I was very young, I was 21. So it was a learning process that I I am really grateful for that because I think that I learned a lot.
And Orlândia is a small town compared to Buenos Aires.
Yeah, it's
Um,
very
w-
small.
any bad experience that you lived in Brazil? Anything that you was a good learning experience, but anything that you remember that you had to go
I
through?
No, not a bad experience like that, but it was really hard to me to go from a city of 4 million people to a town of 90,000.
Yeah.
And sometimes you didn't have had nothing to do in the city. It was or being at home or being at home. You didn't have another chance or going to the gym. We always went to the gym all day because we didn't have much for doing that. So it was really challenging because I started reading a lot, watching a lot of movies, watching everything. Any sports that was on TV, it was like yes, it's there are 2 hours of the day that we are going to stay focused on something. But it was nice because it was learning something new, a new way of living.
Yeah, that's a question I want to ask you, Nico, because futsal players don't get as much money as soccer players. They don't get hundreds of
No.
thousands of dollars, and you still have the whole day free. So basically, is you train in the morning, train in the afternoon. Sometimes you only train the afternoon
Mm.
or only train in the morning. Do you keep yourself busy studying all the things, getting ready for your post futsal career?
Yeah, that's something that in the last few years I'm trying to arrange to really do, because I live with my wife, so at home we are always doing things, but it's really that we do have a lot of time. We are not saving our life in economic terms with only 10 or 15 years of playing this. So it's really important to be prepared in economy matters and psychologically that at some point we are not going to play anymore and we are going to have to work, and we are not used to work as such. We are used to train, that it's a work, but we are not used to the routine of working, and we have the lack that when you are a futsal player, you get facilities for some things, like I don't know, you have to do some paper, and you always have someone that goes with you and try to do it easier. But
Yeah.
when you stop playing, there is no one. So it's really important for all the young players, try to study, try to form yourself, and try to do a plan for the after career, because it's not that long, and you have to have something. But because at your 30 something years or 40, if you're lucky, you have to live another 40 at least.
And Nico,
So
what's
it's
something that you do and you study for the next period of your life?
now I'm trying to start. It's a formation futsal course for. I think it's for training little players, or like do like form futsal players. No
Yeah.
taking soccer players and transform, but taking a little boy and do it a futsal player from the base. But I want to study it in River that has a university, and the year for them it's from like April to December, so it still didn't start. But this I try to maintain my languages because I like that, and I don't know, but maybe that's something that in a few years it's important, and I can do something with that. I try to don't close any door, because I don't know what's going to happen the day before, the day after.
For sure, there are a lot of people in Australia, United States, England. They're listening to you right now. They're gonna ask you um, to go to the country to run some clinics during the holidays. I'm sure about that,
Oh,
and
I
that will be
like
a
those
good thing
countries.
for you. Nico, after 1 year in Brazil, you went back to Argentina, played 1 year for River, and went to Palma in Spain. How was that 1 year and moving to Spain?
That 1 year was challenging because I went to the Brazilian league, that it was the best in South America at that time, and it was going back to River, knowing that I wanted to go out again. So it was like a preparation for me for going out again. And River make a really, they were really nice to me. They understand me. I went back from Brazil and I told them my reality is this one. I want to get out as soon as I can. And if you are not interested, I understand you. This is my team and you are my priority. If you don't want this, I understand. It's not a problem.
Hmm.
I'm not going to be mad with you, because but they told me, no, you are part of this club. This is your home and you're welcome here. So I played like 7 months, and then I went to Palma, my second home. And it was really surprised because I was arranging things to go to Italy, and at the last 4 or 5 days, suddenly Palma appeared and told me, "Hey, you want to come here?" And I was like, Yeah, I didn't even thought about being in Spain because they weren't a foreign goalkeeper here. The
No,
level of
yeah.
goalkeeping in Spain, it's extremely high. Now you have more foreign goalkeepers, but 7 years ago they were. I think that only Sidao, my teammate.
And
But
Sidão has been there for many, many years anyway.
yeah, Sidao is half
He's
half
like a Spanish guy
Spanish.
now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one more of them. But when Palma told me that, I I didn't even expect it, and I was like, yeah, of course. I didn't knew really where Mallorca was, but I said, yeah, 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 yeah. Don't worry, don't worry. And I stopped everything with Italy, and I went there, and I think it was really, really one of the best decisions of my career.
It's very happy to hear. Playing in Spain, I think it's every futsal player's dream to play in Spain. How do you see the last 7 years, playing 5 years for Palma and 2 years for Real Betis? How do you see
Yeah,
yourself improving over these last 7 years?
I think it was for me at the beginning. It was really challenging because I had to break all this. We have one foreign goalkeeper in the league, and really in Palma they were like a family for me. They make me feel more than comfortable. They let me do everything I it was in our hands to improve my game every day and every week. And it was for me it was like a dream. All my years here because it's the best, one of the best leagues because every single person can have an opinion and it's okay, and everybody can think that any league is better than the other one. But I see the Spanish league one of the strongest in goalkeeping terms. I think that it's the one that has the highest level, and I was playing against those those goalkeepers that I used to look them for trying to learn, and I now they were my teammates. I was learning from inside, and the team and the coaches and my teammates. I learned a lot from my teammates, and I didn't expect that at that level. They were really, really important for me, and they are because they told me what I want to know of them. How do they want to do goals? What they expect from me? And that's what I really, really was surprised that every single teammate can make you better, and that's really important.
And who were some of the Spanish goalkeepers that really inspire you? At that time, you had Paco Sedano, Jesus
Mm.
Herrera. I think I'm not sure if the other famous ones
Luis
they were.
Amado.
Say again.
Luis Amado.
Luis Amado was he retired or was he still playing 2015?
No, I think he retired at 2017 or 16. I played like
So who?
1 or 2 years
So
against
I'm
him.
sure he is one of them. But anyway, who are the
Yeah.
goalkeepers that inspired you?
I always look a lot to Luis Amado because I really think that he was the best, period. All of the rest that what I saw him doing, it was like impossible. But what he can do in the goalkeeping, I can do it. In the same way that what Paco Sedano used to did when he played, I can do it because
Different styles, yeah.
he's like this and I'm like this. So I always try to look more like to Sidao, my teammate, Thiago, Molina. Now he's playing at Pozo. Goalkeepers that have more or less my height, and and to them I try to copy a lot of things. From the other ones, I try to always look things maybe not in the goal, but yes, but more than where they stay in court when the ball is here
Hmm.
and when the ball is there, and if his teammate lose the ball, where is he and what does he do? That I really I thought I could do that. The other things not, but they are the best in the world. and these things I can learn from. The other ones I can learn, but I can't do it like them. I have to change things and try to do it in my own way. But I learned a lot from seeing them at live. It was like a dream for me.
Yeah, it is so good, isn't it? Every time I go to Spain, I make sure to watch a futsal game, and it's just the best. It's the best atmosphere. Nico, what makes the Spanish league so special? You have the players, but do you think that having the coaches as well is something the Spanish coaches bring that level a little bit higher as well?
I don't think that there is only one thing. I think it's like a package. You can have the coaches, the best coaches in the world, and you don't have the players, and it's not going to be. I think that Spain gets together too many things. You got players, you got coaches, you got staff, technical staff. You got the stadiums. I mean, when I went for the first time to the Barcelona stadium, I was like, oh God,
Yeah.
it's here. So there are many things, and all together, it's like a perfect combination for doing one of the best leagues. It's not only one thing, and
Yeah.
every single one is really important to really make one of the most appreciate leagues for futsal player.
Yeah. And Nico, for many years, Inter Movistar, El Pozo, and Barcelona dominated the
Mm.
league. But recently,
Yeah.
we've got Valdepeñas, Himbi Cartagena, you guys, Real Betis, even Cordoba now have Miguelin and some amazing players.
Mm.
If it feels that the league is getting more competitive, is that true? Is that what's happening with the Spanish league?
Yeah, I think that is happening with the whole futsal world. A few years, it was playing against Brazil and tried to lose for the less goal possible. Now, uh, the we try to win. Uh, Russia tried to win. Portugal tried to win, and so on. So every single national team grew up too much, and it's not that with the teams. I think that is the same. It's not that the top players or the top teams or the top national team didn't grow up, but going from here to here, it's easier and faster than here to here. It's
Yes.
really so. There was a really big gap between the big ones in Spain and the other ones, and that gap was much more or less filled. But now winning titles, it's difficult. It's really difficult. You see Jaén that won Spanish Cups,
Yes.
but it for the rest of the team, you have Levante the last year that it was like, I don't know if it was 20 seconds to be champion of the league.
And they went to the final four of the UEFA Cup too.
They went to the final four. You got Valdepeñas came up second the last season, but do that little click from getting into finals to winning is really difficult. I think
And
that
let's talk about that. Barcelona has that little thing to win titles at the moment. So I had Sergio Gonzalez on the podcast, Sergio Gonzalez from
mm,
Himbe
yeah,
Cartagena, and he was saying that Barcelona is that one level higher than everyone else.
yeah, they
What
are.
in your eyes, what makes Barcelona one level higher than everyone else?
They made a group of winning players. Besides of being great playing or fasters, or they have winning players. They have players that have won titles, and they keep winning and winning and winning because they have this quality that when there is that special moment, that tough moment, that final moment, they not only deliver, they do their best game. So that is really difficult. And Barcelona has the ability and has the chance to can put all of them together and say, okay, there is the players, there is the coach, there is the staff. Come on, let's play. Let's
Yeah.
go out and do what you know to do.
But recently, you got Barcelona knocked out in on a penalty shootout,
Mm.
saving a penalty.
Yeah.
What was that tournament with the Copa del
Uh,
Rey, wasn't it?
Copa del Rey. Yeah.
Copa
It's
del
a
Rey.
tournament that every single team plays from the lower divisions to the higher divisions, and
Yeah.
they are going to they go eliminated, and then the ones that go to the last four play a final four.
But that winning mentality is something that you have, Nico, and that's why you ended up winning the national team with Betis. Nico, going to the national team time, when did you start playing for the national team for the first time?
I start playing at the uh, what was it was a tournament in Brazil in 2014, I think, or no, 2013. And first, I went with the first
You were
tournament
really
of
young
Diego.
then. You were really young in 2013,
Yeah, I was how old I was, like 19 or something.
1920, yeah.
Yeah, and it was the second tournament of Diego. I went to the first one, and he told me, "You're not going to play this tournament because I respect the keeper that it was playing and in the other tournaments. But if you work, you can win your chance to play the next one. But you have to win it. You have to earn it because he have been playing for the national team like for 8 years, and you are not and you won. So you have to won. You have to win this place. You have to earn it really.
Yeah.
So I worked like a month with the pre-training, the pre-tournament trainings, and the first one he played. The second one he told me this tournament you are going to play, and we won that tournament. It was not the official tournament like a Copa America, but it
Hmm.
was the first tournament that we won in Brazil since I don't remember why.
Was that a
Uh,
Grand Prix, they call it, isn't it?
it was like a Grand Prix. They changed the name to Intercontinental Cup or something like this.
Hmm.
But for us, it was like, okay, uh, something is happening because 4 months ago, I wasn't part of the national team, but they went to Brazil and they played and they lost like 11-1. And 4 months later, we won in
All
Brazil
right,
against Brazil.
something happened. What did Diego do to change that thing to from losing to Brazil level one to start winning against Brazil?
The first thing that he do was for us talking things that have no sense. Because he stand up in front of us, he told us, "You are the ones that I choose to start working now. In 3 years, we have a World Cup." And the national team came from losing 11-1 to Brazil 20 days ago. And he said, in 3 years, we are going to win that World Cup.
So you're saying that he started saying nonsense. Diego starts
Yeah,
saying
yeah, yeah,
nonsense. Okay.
yeah, instantly. And we were like, but wait, we lose 11-1. So we have to close the gap in 10 goals at the minimum to only to get a tie game. And we were like, no, he's not going to do. We are not going to do that. We didn't believe in that day. I think that 3 weeks later we believed in that because when we saw the way he was working with us, and when we saw the things that we could do in the court with everything that we were learning from him, we said like, okay, we are not the best players, we are not the strongest, the most technicals, but as a team, we can be the best. And that was it. That was what made us believe that as a team we could win to anyone, and we could lose, but we can compete with anyone.
And it's very clear for us when we're watching the team in the last World Cup now in 2021 that you guys work so well in defense, so well drilled. What did Diego change on the court? What was that you said about the mentality, but what was changed tactically wise, the strategies of the national team?
Well, it was like 180 degrees change because we used to play to not lose by much, literally every single
Mhm.
game. And the next game, he told us we have to we must be the leaders of the rest of Argentinians, and we have to be the main character of this play, of this match. So we are going to defend better, but to try to steal the ball and do goals. We are going to have the ball. And we know that we like to defend. We like something that nobody likes. That is defend. That is suffer. That is. But we have it. We always did it since we
Yeah.
were young until today. So it's natural to us and try to do our best. But the main change was that he told us we are not here to lose. We are going to win. And if they win, let them win, but they have to earn it and they have to be better than us to win. They have to train
Mhm.
better, they have to train more. And if they do all of that and they win, congratulations, that's fine. But we are not going to concede more easy lose for nobody. And that was an extreme change for us at the time.
Yeah, I have memories of the Argentinian team sitting back, waiting for Brazil, half court. And then out of the
Yeah.
sudden they change, start pressing, going high up in the court, pressing Falcão. Doesn't matter, receive one dribble, but dribble Falcão as well, no problem. But what you guys did, it was so big in futsal because there was never been another country apart from Brazil or Spain to win the World Cup. And you guys won in 2016. Before that, you won the Copa America in 2015, but in 2016, you won the World Cup. Nico, you surprised the whole world. You won it. How was that 2016 World Cup?
I wasn't conscious of any of this at the time. I'm grateful for that because I would get mad. I would get crazy because everything what happened at that World Cup was like perfect. Uh, we we wanted to press that. We had to play against Kazakhstan, the first match,
First
and
match 1-0 against Kazakhstan.
we prepared that match for 2 months. We prepared the whole World Cup for like 2.5 months, but the last 2 months, every single training, there was something about the first match of Kazakhstan because Diego believed that that was gonna be the central piece or the most important game of the group phase, and he was right because it was a perfect game. I think that we almost didn't have any mistake defensively talking, and we start to believe that okay, defending and pressing and being really annoying in the court, we can win because nobody wants. We have to. What we thought was, okay, no one had to want to play with us. That's our goal. We can lose, but we have to be really annoying. I mean, every time you get the ball, you have to see us here. I'm screaming. I'm trying to steal you. I'm touching and push. So that's our DNA. That's what we enjoy. And we try to explode it at the limit. And that plus the quality of players we have really good players. I think that no one of us is the best in his position, but as a group, we work excellently. The results are there, and and it was a combination of many factors. That first World Cup was incredible.
The first game you said they prepared for 2 months to play against Kazakhstan. Was a lot of the training preparing to how to defend against Igita as well?
Yeah, the most difficult thing to prepare against Igita is that we didn't have any passing player that could pass the ball with the quality of his keeper. So we did the scouting and we saw him and we said, okay, if you go from his right, he would pass the ball with his left 20 meters to the other guy's foot. Okay, who could do that of us? Nobody. Okay. But if we go from the other side, he would do the same thing, with the other leg. Who can do this? Nobody. Okay. But if the two go, he go forward, he go to the front and shoot. Who can shoot like this? We were 20. Nobody. And we said, okay, we are doomed because we were trying to prepare the game and trying to do the same things that he used to do, but we couldn't do it even at this level because he is amazing what he can do. Besides what the amazing thing that he can do inside the goal, outside the ball, he's ridiculously good. I mean, it's better than most of the players in all over the world. So we try to, in a tactical way, to prepare at the most minimum detail. We knew everything, and every time, every match we play from the other team, we know everything since that day because we prepare until the last detail because that's we know that's the only way we have to try to win.
And knowing the position in futsal is really important. That's when the coaches can really make a difference, isn't it?
Yeah. There is really, really important because it's not only what he told you, it's if you really believe in what he's telling you. And what happened with Diego is that every single player believed every single thing that he was telling to us. If he told us, look at that train, go in front of that train, you're going to stop it, we were going to do that because we believe in everything he told us. And we were really convinced of that. And that was a good thing, I think, because we really perform in base of that.
Yeah. We have two very successful stories at the moment. We had Panu from the Finland national team on the podcast. And the
Yeah,
same as you guys, it's two nations that got together, believe in each other, and they start getting to see the results. Nico, all right, game two, you guys beat Salamo Island 7-3. Game three, draw with Costa Rica. And then you
yeah,
went to the round of 16s to play against Ukraine to win 1-0. How were those
yeah.
games very quickly?
The face group was terrible. We played really, really bad. And when with Costa Rica, we almost lost. They got a free kick, a 10-meter free kick. I don't know, 2 minutes from ending the game. And if we lost, we had to play against Spain, Russia. The same thing that happened in the last World Cup.
Yeah.
And we were trying to get first because we knew that it was really important to try to play one of those matches, no five. And then with Ukraine, we did a really, really good match. I think that they shoot like 2 or 3 times to goal in a whole match, but we couldn't make a goal. We shoot like, I don't know, 100 times on the post until 1 minute ago from going to penalties. I don't even remember how, but we make a goal and it was like, okay. And it was like a liberation. From that, it was like, okay, we did it. We are playing good. Relax. Let's enjoy. And from
Yeah.
that point, it was like really, really organic thing. It was like everything we knew that everything is going to came up good for us.
Yeah, then you won against Ukraine, had Egypt in the quarterfinals. You beat them 5-0. Egypt had just won against Italy. Was a hard
Yeah,
game. But then in the semifinal, you beat Portugal to get through to the grand final. But Brazil lost in the round of 16s and Spain lost in
yeah.
the quarterfinals. When you guys heard that both countries lost, did that give you guys extra motivation to maybe we can win this World Cup? Because there was going to be a new winner at that time.
Mm, In a private, in private, we said to us, okay, we're going to go to win this cup. We have to win. It was like an obligation that we had. In public, we said, okay, we want to do better than we try to than the best result of Argentina. That was coming up to a final.
Mhm.
When you start seeing that Brazil, Spain, and Italy, they are out of the World Cup, you are start saying, okay, it's possible to win, not because of the rest of the teams, because if Brazil is not there, it's because someone beat them, and someone beat them in a World Cup. So winning a World Cup, it's possible for another countries. You know, that's the
Yeah.
motivation we try to do. I mean, until that day, it was like, okay, who's going to win, or Brazil or Spain? But from that day, it was like, okay, wait, it's not going, it's not an obligation that those two countries are going to win. Maybe it could be a third or a fourth.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I would love to keep it in three, but congratulations to Portugal. Uh, but yeah, for us it was like we were extremely focused in our way, in our path, but you are not away from the other results, and it was really shocking for us to see Falcao in his last World Cup and to see Spain to lose. I think it was 6-1 against Russia. They
Mhm.
were shocking results for
Yeah.
everybody, not for us only, for the other
Correct.
countries and for everybody who likes this sport.
Yeah, all respect to Iran and Russia. It was a surprise for everyone. You guys beat Portugal in the semifinal, beat Russia in the grand final. Dream came through. Dream came true. Um, of course, it's a cliche question, but the feeling of winning a World Cup.
The a few days someone asked me the same thing, and I told them the first time we won, we were so happy that when we go to the lockers room, or the changing room,
Change room, yeah.
yeah, someone told, how do we commemorate this? Because no one have ever won a World Cup. He, someone screamed, "How can we celebrate a World Cup? What do you do when you do won a World Cup?" It was like I think it was like 3 or 4 days after the final that I start to say, okay, we won a World Cup. Really, I mean, to get a
Yeah.
perspective of what was happened. It was like amazing, incredible. I don't think that you can say there is another thing in this sport that can match that moment.
You guys went back to Argentina, became really famous in the country, all the newspapers. We saw messages from Messi, from
Mhm.
a lot of you guys really became public figures in Argentina. Did you ever expect to be famous through futsal in your country?
No, no, never, never. Actually, people used to ask me, "What do you play? Futsal, and what's that?" It's like soccer, but you the throw-ins with your feet. And then we try to use that moment, that hype to try to tell everybody what we were playing and try to make
Mhm.
that our moment to give back to the sport what the sport gave us, that it was everything. So we have a meeting, a sort of meeting, and we told, okay, who's going to stay in Argentina the next 7 days? It was like 10 from the 15 or 16. And we say, okay, every single interview, every single TV, every single radio, we have to do that because we have to explain the people what we do. We have to bring the kids to the sport. We have to bring the companies. We have to bring the money to the league. We have to bring the media. We have to bring everything to the sport. So that is going to be our way to try to make it bigger in the country, and it really works. We saw how it start growing from that until today. Today it is still growing the league.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see that you guys stayed as a world champion for 5 years because of COVID. But those 5 years, you guys really made futsal really popular in Argentina, especially after this World Cup. You guys had that beautiful event celebrating the
Mhm.
generation. And that was I was watching here from Australia, and I'm half Brazilian, half Australian now. But was so beautiful to see, and I start crying watching, and I'm not even Argentinian, and I was imagining you guys there in that beautiful environment.
I got goosebumps from remembering. That was one of the most magical nights from all my life. I mean, if you dreaming when you're young that you're going to play in your hometown with 15K people shouting at you, knowing who you are, wanting to be there, a friendly match, a Wednesday, and being that match it is going to be passed in the national TV at live. That all the media are going to be there. That I mean, for us, it was like it can't be happening this. I mean, we used to play almost with no lights in the court when we were young, and now
Yeah.
this is happening. It was like a dream. We even couldn't dream something like this.
Yeah, we love stories like that because we know how beautiful futsal is and how good of a product futsal
Mm.
is. Futsal can become such a huge sport. Nico, going to the 2021 World Cup this time as favorites, um, together with Portugal, you guys won again the South American
Mm.
Cup, the Copa America. Portugal won the European Cup, but you guys went to the 2021 World Cup in a really good form. This time with Matias as coach, not Diego. Um, I'm gonna ask you. Of course, Matias always mentioned Diego as being the
Mm.
main person, and he's very thankful to him. And Matias also, I'm watching from outside. You are there. I'm gonna ask you. He always comes across as being a really nice guy, really someone that
Mhm.
studies the game a lot. How is Matias as a coach?
He is an amazing coach, and it's unbelievable that he's so young. And because of his really bad injury, he had to stop playing. But for us, it was like our Messi in futsal. He
Mhm.
was the best at his time. He was playing side by side with Ricardinho and doing all of that crazy things and winning titles. And he became an amazing coach. He really understands the game. He really, really understands the player, and that's for our national team. That's key. He
Mhm.
knows every one of us. He knows how to talk to anyone, to every single one, because we are really different one to the other, and he really, really takes the best of you inside the court. Uh, I know we didn't won the World Cup, but I think that winning or not winning, it's not the only thing. It's the process you do, because you can win or you can lose, and you can be proud of what you did, or you are not proud maybe. But we were proud of what we do, and we are proud of our World Cup. I mean, I w- I wanted to want I always mm, will have these mixed emotions, but the process, the preparation, the sacrifice, everything that Matthias made for this World Cup with his age was perfect. We
Mhm.
couldn't we I think that nobody would change anything but the result of the last game. But the
When
process was amazing.
when you leave everything on the court, that's what matters. You went to the World Cup having in the group stage USA, Serbia, and Iran. Apart from USA, Serbia, and Iran were going to be two grand finals, two really hard matches. Um, what was the mentality going to the group stage, and you guys ended up finishing on top?
We our mentality was that we had to play against USA, Serbia, and Iran, and then we had to play with every single top selection on the world to try to win. No matter who won, we it was if we reach the final, it going we said to us if we can go through all that games, it's gonna be epic. I mean, Brazil, Spain,
But Nico, let
Russia.
me ask you another question. Sorry to stop you there. In 2016, you chose the easier path. You chose to finish first to have the easier path in the round of 16s
Yeah,
and in the quarterfinals. But in this World Cup, when you play against Iran, theoretically, whoever lost that game had the easier run in the round of 16s.
yeah.
Did you guys think about that? Did you consider taking a bit easy and resting your players in the last game, or the mentality was just let's win every game and that's it?
In the two World Cups, the mentality was the same. We have 7 games. We have to win the 7.
Okay.
If winning take us to a easier path or to a not such okay, better.
Uh-huh.
But I never, I can't. It's impossible to any of us to put a jersey and go out to try to lose. I don't know any top player that can do this. So yeah, we knew that the one that came out second, it was gonna have it easier, if you want to say, path through an hypothetical final. But at the end, it wasn't so easy
No, it
because
wasn't.
Iran couldn't make it, and so that's a thing that we, the players, know. In a World Cup, no, there is not an easy match because yeah, you can be from the beginning a supposedly favorite, but you have to play and you have to win, and we don't know how to lose a game. For us, that's impossible. We can't even start thinking. So every single match we knew we have to win, and we say to each other, okay, if we reach a final, that's going to be something amazing.
We cover the World Cup, and you guys always look really strong in the World Cup,
Mm.
and always very solid and confident and getting better every game. In the round of 16, you guys beat Paraguay 6-1, and then you face the last World Cup Grand Final, Russia, which you ended up winning on penalties in a really
Mm.
hard game, 5-4 on penalties. Um, you talk a lot about the process of preparing, and the result really is a consequence of the preparation. But do you think that futsal is these details sometimes is a little bit of luck, a little bit of some things there is not really explanation, or would you still consider? Would you still think that the preparation is the key in some cases?
I think that in your life as a human being, you need some of luck. But despite this quote of this part of luck that you need, every single detail you can prepare, you have to do it because maybe you don't know how, but this little detail or this little mistake that you can arrange before the game can be a difference of that luck. Can be that little thing of luck you can take advantage of or not. So I think that on those tournaments more than in another, every single little it's key. You have to be you have to we knew everything of every single team. We knew even how they walk through the ball to shoot the match, the
Yeah.
penalties. So we
Okay.
knew he puts his first foot like this, his first foot like this. He's going to shoot for that side. But if he doesn't, he's going to shoot in that way. And you can say, okay, maybe you didn't have to know all of that things, but it works for us, and
It
it's
works.
our reality. It doesn't mean that this it's the key or something, or it's the way that we know works for us. Every single national team can will have his own way, and that's important because you have to adapt that to the group. But for our group, that it's the way that we feel comfortable playing.
Yeah, and the same. You guys won on penalties. Portugal also won on penalties against Kazakhstan,
Mm.
and we had Luizinho here on the podcast Luizinho, the goalkeeper coach for
Hmm.
Kazakhstan in Karat, and he
See.
was saying that they were all over Portugal and they could have beat Portugal. Details. Anyway, you guys beat Brazil 2-1 in the semifinal. A really smart game by Argentina, defending so well. Uh, getting out of pressure by Argentina, nice movement that I'm sure Matias would have worked on that to make Ferrão chase that player, Ferrão, Rodrigo. Uh, Amazing game. And then you face Portugal, the European champions, in the grand final. Uh, Two teams that they were really on the top of their game, and just details would have made a difference. Can you talk us through that game, please?
I didn't see nothing of that game again. So it's
You
what
haven't
I
watched that
remember.
game?
No, and I won't watch it again. I
You're
don't
not gonna
need to
watch it?
watch it. No, I don't. I'm not going to win nothing watching it again.
Okay.
But I do remember that they were really concrete. In Spanish, is concrete. They were really
Solid.
they solid
Yeah.
in the key moments of the game. When they have one more player, they make a goal, and when in the second half, when we were feeling better than them in the court, they score again.
Hmm.
So maybe it's hard to explain, but mentally that's really important when you do the things, because it's not the same thing that making a goal in the first minute than in the last minute or in the mid. There are key moments, and Portugal in the whole World Cup always used those key moments and always took advantage of those key moments, or always recognize when to beat the other the other the other team. So I think that they did an amazing job. They are still doing it because the results are there. Two times European champion, the UEFA champion. It's a Portuguese team, world champion. So it's not a coincidence, and
No.
it's not by luck. So they are doing an excellent job, and it's it must be recognized for everybody, because today Portugal and the Portuguese league or the Portuguese teams are leading the sport.
Yeah. As you said, it's everyone's job in Portugal, not just one person. But the job of the George Braz and his coaching staff was an amazing job during the World Cup. I do feel sorry for you guys because I think you guys were having an amazing game. You were really well. Until I must mention, I don't want to mention, but I must mention the red card of Boruto. Uh, I haven't seen any interviews much, but I'm sure he apologized to the whole team for what happened. But I don't think you guys, not just losing a player, but mentally, I think what happened was really hard for you guys during the game. Is that something that true? It
I
was
think,
more than just losing a player.
I mean, for us, Titi, we call him Titi Borruto.
Okay.
We know it's our striker. It's we know that when game is tough, he's going to score in those key moments. So
Yeah.
I think that that's the way he plays. He didn't have to apologize for nothing, and we didn't want him to apologize for nothing, because he plays right in the limit. And if
Yeah.
you always place in the limit, sometimes you are going to go a step beyond the limit, and that happens in a Sunday league game.
Hmm.
Imagine in a World Cup, in a final World Cup, where your heart is like a million RPM. So he didn't have to apologize for nothing. He gave us too much, and he was only trying to win in the way he thought that he was going to reach us to score. So we can we know what we know him many years, so he didn't need to say
No problem.
nothing
No
to us.
problem. I understand. Uh, all right. So you guys finished runners up. You won your second Golden Gloves of your life. I see both of them up there, and it's.
Oh,
I'm sure you're really
then I,
really proud of them. Uh, what's next for the actually before the national team always been something that when you wear that jersey you're really proud of, and we can see that in your eyes, and it's time people around the world can see how passionate you are about the national team. What does it mean for you, the national team, and what's next for your futsal career?
For not for me, for us, the national team, it's a dream. It's what we love. I mean, we hear our national anthem. It's our
Anthem, yeah.
national song anthem, and we feel this emotion that fills every single corner of your body, that you want to cry, scream, and start running. And it's you think in your family, you think in your friends, you think in all the years that you invest in being there. So for us, it's like the most glorious moment of our career. It's what everybody wants to do in your country. Everybody wants to be in your place, and you have that responsibility of that everybody feels proud of you. It's beautiful. So we feel lucky of being in that position, and that's what we feel. That's what I don't know the other national team because I'm not in there, so I can't speak uh, for them. But for us, it's like this. It's amazing. It's what something we love. And for the next years, I have one more year contract here in Betis, and beside this season, so I am not thinking beside these years. I still have a lot of time in this club to start thinking right now on what's
Mhm.
going to happen. I try to live day by day and enjoy and really enjoy the process, because it's not that long, the a career of a futsal player. And when you want to realize, the years go through, and I try to enjoy the moment.
Time goes fast, doesn't it? Nico,
Yeah.
the national team, it's going to go through a renovation. Apparently, some players are going to retire. Uh, do you know much about this renovation of the national team?
Yeah, of course, I know everybody, and some of them are good friends, and some of them are players with, well, really young, that I play against them or I play with them with the national team, and we saw we see in them the same commitment, the same passion, the same energy that we try to bring to every single match. So we know that they are going to make us feel proud of every single second that they use that jersey. And at the end, everybody has to stop playing at some point. So it was, for us, it's tough because there are teammates that play with us many years. I'm one of the new ones, and I played with them 7 years. So imagine the rest that played like 18 years together. So it was an emotional moment, but we knew that it's going to happen at some point. So
Yeah.
we are really proud of how the young boys are committed with the national team, and I think that makes us to be calm about that, to know that everybody is going to give to the national team what they can, but the commitment and the sacrifice and the passion, it's the first one. Everything else goes in a second place.
So true. Nico, that's a wrap for the podcast. We could stay here talking for many hours, but I want to thank you so much. Muchísimas gracias, Nico, for taking your time to join our Futsal and Proud podcast. Congratulations on your amazing career. I want to say that you have so many fans around the world, and the reason for these fans is not just because of the goalkeeper that you are, for the person that you are, because you're a really nice guy, and I appreciate you taking your time to join the podcast.
Thank you very much to you to consider myself, to consider my person to this podcast. I'm really sorry to my mom when she hears that, she's going to hate me. Mami, perdón. And I'm sorry to all the English speaking person. And if you hear something that sounds wrong, I'm sorry. I try to do my best. Remember always, that's not my language. I'm trying to do the best that I can. So thank you for sharing that beautiful moment, and I hope to see you soon.
No, Nico, don't be sorry. You did amazing. Thanks everyone for listening to your Futsal Proud podcast number 4. Our next one will be in 1 month. And until then, you can listen to my own weekly Caro Futsal podcast. See you soon.